Welcome back to UKGT, the first season, of course, of the UK League that is currently ongoing. We are in week 2, day 1, and, well, we've already been through the first match, but it's time for us to get to the second and the final one of the night. It's going to be Rasta Gaming versus CEX. But just before we get into that, of course, got to go full sellout, apparently. We've got to plug this one till Kingdom Come, which is the fact that we're doing an Intel giveaway, or not even an Intel giveaway, a Western Digital giveaway. So I've already wrecked the plug, but it doesn't matter. You know, the plug is a plug. We're giving away a Western Digital Blue SSD. It's got superior performance, leading edge reliability, and a bunch of other really fancy things. So make sure you go love it on Twitter, and you get yourself an SSD.
Hello, I'm Snods, if I wasn't introduced already. Rasta Gaming versus CEX. Have you seen the names on CEX Flix?
I just kind of don't even look at names anymore. I think, like, I could rant for hours on end about names, about, like, UK names.
Chocolate Thunder.
Protein. Strawberry Lightning.
Strawberry Lightning.
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. 1 second here.
I mean, my attitude on UK names, because I don't mind it when you do see kind of tiny adjustments on other levels of CS where people make kind of little jokes in the names and stuff like that, but in the UK, people seem to just decide, you know what, I don't need to use my real name. I don't even need to use anything close to my name. I'm just going to go with whatever I want. But
yeah,
it's not funny, boys. It's not funny.
Astro's the name it goes by. LS is Liam S. You can call him LS, I guess that's fine. Strawberry Lightning is Rezu. Protein is Brody C. And Chocolate Thunder. Beg my pardon, I can't remember the 5th player on this team.
You know what? I've just got to talk about what they are.
Of course.
I'm looking forward to the highlight clips of screaming Chocolate Thunder.
Oh yeah, you go by that. So yeah, Chocolate Thunder is JDD. So already we've got Rasta with the 1-man lead.
Yeah, Rasta doing a good job. Hayden going to keep on tapping on forward, looking for Chocolate Thunder as he tries to erupt over towards CT. Unable to really get too much done, though, as he will at least find one on towards Yano, but quickly before he's traded out to Strawberry Lightning. Going to try and do some damage here and there. LS as well, just 2 HP, and I've got to say, really enjoying this. As they are going to find themselves some headshots to bring it back to a 2 versus 2 Quartz. And a bit more sensibility into the server as he tries to make it work over towards ramp, and they have this crossfire. But LS is ready there to hold it. Strawberry Lightning is going to peek. Does get tagged on down, but doesn't get the frag, and that's pretty important. But a 1-tap on towards Hayden buys a bit more time. As Quartz going to repeat, gets himself 1, goes to the second, 2 HP. Surely that's not enough for him to cut over that defuse, let alone get the drive-by on towards Quartz.
Yeah, no kit there, and 2 HP will mean a round 1 for Rasta. The 3k there from Hayden, getting those first initial frags and Chocolate Thunder. Feel the thunder.
You're selling this.
Yeah.
You got to give it to the right. I mean, this is probably like the one time that I say changing your names has actually been A, funny, and B, like you're selling it, so that makes it just a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, you know, you see like she smiles like an emoji, which Dream had, or like Zio changed his name to Bad and stuff like that. Like, this is actually quite funny. I'll give it to him. It's quite funny.
Yeah, you can get props to that CX.
Brody C starting the gym, obviously. Now a newly formed gym lad has changed his name to Protein. Fair play, fair play. Chocolate Thunder. I don't know why JDD is called Chocolate Thunder, to be honest with you. Strawberry Lightning. I would have thought Thomas would be called that because he's ginger, so I don't know where on earth Strawberry Lightning comes from for Rezu. And
yeah, I'm trying to work out the reasonings, but
why is Psychic got H, like the H in those brackets?
I'm thinking maybe just trying to reference Hayden. I don't know.
Is his first name Harry or something?
Who knows?
2 eyes as well, and the little squinty thing following the C. I can't remember what that's called. But yeah,
call the
Zach T with a love heart. Who's he loving? I mean.
Oh, Zacky's had that love heart for ages, though.
Yeah, but who's he loving? Is he loving himself?
He just loves life, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that after the kick from a few Frank clips.
Oh.
So, then again, where are they now? Rasta Gaming and UKGT. So, Zach to hear the last laugh, you could say.
For sure, and I think Rasta Gaming, they've been in a pretty kind of interesting position as a lineup recently. A lot of contention around them, but they're feeling confident. I think that's the biggest thing that has to be touched on. I've been talking to these guys a fair bit. I'm good friends with all of them, and one key theme is they actually feel like they're going to do relatively well going into LAN, which if you feel like you're going to do well going into an Epic LAN, which has, you know, not necessarily some of the top teams contending, but a nice mix of them, a healthy chance to really have some competitive CS, then the picture that paints in UKGT, well, should be that this game is well and truly up for grabs for them, but I know our predictions certainly vary on that one, and perhaps place some doubt on their thoughts.
Where do they think they're going to come or finish?
Well, you know, the conversation pretty much leans to top 5 to top 6, which is hopeful, if you ask me.
They do have the intermediate champion Zach T from the previous Epic LAN. Then again, the level of players, or the level of teams, sorry, that went to their last Epic LAN was not quite as consistent as it's been in the past. So,
I'm a fan of an underdog, though. I think that's the thing that I want to get behind. You know what? I always love to stand behind and cheer behind an underdog, all in all.
Yeah, knowing some of the teams that are going already, I reckon top 8 is pushing it. I reckon top 8 is a good goal for Rasta. I don't think they're going to get top 5 or better than that. But I reckon top 8 is definitely a good goal for them.
We can see how that's going to go, and of course, as we touched on right at the start of that whole like segment, is that UKGT is a good kind of benchmarker to see, okay, how they're doing on the run up to LAN, where their practice is going, which I know one of the biggest flaws for them was their map pool recently. They have a very, very thin map pool that pretty much relied on the likes of Mirage, Cobblestone, and Cash, and once that got banned out, they're left kind of going, okay, boys, what the hell can we do? So them playing Mirage right now is already a huge positive, and, well, we kind of glossed over the fact, but it's not, they're getting wrecked by P250s.
They are indeed. Chocolate Thunder, Astro, and LS are still alive. That is 10 HP on Chocolate Thunder. I just want to say Chocolate Thunder once again. And yep, that is Chocolate Thunder there at 10 HP. Quartz, though. Molly, Smoke, and Flashbang has got the nades at hand. The Molly will give away his position. And unfortunately, will not find any frags there. As a Smoke for CT, the problem is, though, this player in Palace here, I'm going to say it again, Chocolate Thunder will spot the bomb. And Quartz going towards Sandwich. So Sandwich, Chocolate Thunder, and Quartz will plant the bomb, but he spots. Yeah, Chocolate Thunder falls. He tries to get the spray, but it's very strong round there from Strawberry Lightning. He finds the 3K with the P250.
You're struggling with this, aren't you?
Yeah, this is a joke, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's quite the meme. I've got to say, with the Chocolate Thunder thing, right, I'm kind of surprised he's not gone for Chocolate Rain. Like that feels like there would have been a quite topical reference at least.
I think. Wait. Yeah, Chocolate Thunder. Is that maybe something lean towards? Oh god, diarrhea or something like that. Chocolate Thunder.
I was kind of glossing over
Thunder.
that, hoping it was a bit more positive, but you know.
I reckon it is. Strawberry, like you have too many strawberries, your fiber, you know what happens? Chocolate Thunder. Too much protein as well. Too much fiber, not enough protein, so you're gonna have chocolate Thunder. There you go.
Oh, Snotty boy, you do like to read into things, don't you? That is quite something.
Well, there you go. It makes sense. You have too much strawberries, fiber's too high. You need more protein. If you don't do that, then you're gonna have Chocolate Thunder, aren't you? So this is the bar on 4.
Frags up plenty, going backwards and forwards. It is going to be Chocolate Thunder spewing everywhere at this point. Gets himself a double kill. Psychic is going to respond with a quick trade. Nonetheless, pitting it into 2 versus 2 with Astro digging a trench over towards Connector. One way he's certainly going to try and use that as a staging ground, but it looks like LS is going to get himself the double kill spray down to close things out. CEX, they bring it back 2 for 2. And from there, Rasta Gaming are going to be placed up on the Nico round.
CEX bouncing back here. Chocolate Thunder with a massive 3K towards Ninja. Well,
I can picture your face right now with a
huge
grill on it every time you say that.
Loving it. 2-2 as the Rasta are on Folico now, just P250s and a Glock in hand. 2 of these players are now pushing mid. Chocolate Thunder wants those eco frags. Nice flick there from Astro. Nice reface again from Astro. May have spotted the bomb as well.
Yeah, he's loving it at this point. Almost certainly has spotted the bomb. Not only that, he gets to just wait for them to funnel on through. And if he doesn't get the shots, then his teammate LS has got his back. As they're all doing the work, they're all making it happen. And most importantly, they are shutting down the side of Rasta Gaming. As Astro clearly excited, letting his screams be heard as he just decides to unveil a bit of a roar. Can't believe what I'm hearing right now, honestly. It's quite something.
I hope West Ham one's on for the stream because this is quite funny.
I mean, it might as well be at this point, right? We've gone full meme at this point. We've gone away from serious CS and a professional league to just names being unveiled.
I mean, I'm fine with this, you know, but it's when teams have stupid names. Like, I mentioned the one on Enemies Disbelief, like, stuff like that. Like, that just isn't funny. Like, this is actually quite funny, so I'll give it to them. But yeah, CX sounding very red up, fired up to go, screaming and shouting once they take their round of wins, and even versus Ecos. But still, Astro going for the Palace pick will cement them that one-man lead, 3-2. 1 minute 20 on the clock, as now the T's are going to be funneled in towards the B-bomb site. 2 players towards window as well. It's going to be fast rotation towards B once the T's arrive.
Yeah, it's all about waiting as well if the T's. They don't want to bite the bullet too early. They want to set themselves up, but unfortunately, that does kind of come hand in hand with getting to put to that disadvantage, right? Because the entry pick is for CEX to fight. Strawberry Lightning tries to play off that elevated angle on the corner of that site. Doesn't quite get away with it though, so it does mean that Rasta Gaming get to drop on down and try and spiral the way through. But LS yet again doing all the work with a double kill. Protein now responding as he cuts through the fiber, takes down Yado, and Strawberry Lightning to find the last he needs on towards Psychic. I mean, it's going to be a pitch perfect round from CEX to break through the side of Rasta Gaming. As they are left, well, yet again limitless on these pistols. Not really too much they can do.
Again on the eco, we saw what happened last time. They pushed up mid and took advantage of them there. Let's see now. Instead, they will play more of a default setup. Astro as well, easy frag there as Yano just jiggle peeks into his crosshair. And right now for Rasta, that Byron we saw there wasn't really too much reading into that in terms of strats and the way they play tactically as well. This could be a very one-sided half here if it gets out of hand. This could be a 10-5. Look at the confidence as well. Strawberry Lightning, Rezu, and Brody C. Protein towards mid. Find a flurry of frags. Astro doing 360s because who cares really. Now we are looking at 5-2. Protein the final headshot there. This buy round. Rasta needs to win this buy round, otherwise it might get out of control here. They're going for the pause. I expect this to be tactical just because this is a very important round for them. If this goes 7-2, I don't see Rasta coming back fairly shortly.
Yeah, I think it's certainly his early days though, at least. So I think it's a nice pause from Hayden. He's clocked onto this one before it's got too far kind of unreachable, and now he's looking to just kind of go, okay, let's rally the troops there. Let's sit back and give a bit of an inspirational speech or something, whatever he wants to do, work his magic, and that's when they're going to kind of go full must and just try and make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. So, let's take a look. Open Quartz. And, Sidekick. Brackets around the H there. How much money has he got? 6k. Oh, they might even go for double up setup here. Maybe that's what they're discussing. One up, go towards ramp, if he's got a good spawn. Then go towards palace and hold for the jungle peak. One up, go towards mid. Play off that. Could work. Oh, they're changing the names now. Let's see. Brody C changed the name to JDD. JD changed his name to Josh. Protein changed his name to Brody. Protein.
I have a feeling right now what this is. I think I've clocked on what's going on. This might be admin intervention.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, right? Because we've been here with Smooya. We've had this moment, and now Smooya was much worse. He was, deciding trying to display.
You can't have porn as your profile picture and expect to be streamed.
That was a bit of a different affair, but this may well be admin intervention, just kind of throwing on and saying, boys, maybe we can bring a bit more seriousness back to what's going on.
Yep. So it is on pause now. All to play for the Rasta side. As we do go into the 8th round here. The buy is solid on both teams. Strong utility on both sides here. It's already looking like potentially a set of ace smokes. And Josh playing towards close ramp could definitely nullify this push. Because those flashbangs aren't going to affect him. This could be a mop-up of frags.
It's just a bit of a bloodbath at this point as they just try and set themselves up. And, well, I'm certainly intrigued to see where it is going to go. At least the score's ever so patient. Also, his ramp push as well. The trio in the making. With Hayden holding the flank, but what looked like it was shaping up to be quick aggression and therefore led us to that point of that gurgling of bloodbath, it's actually very slow. They're just sitting there and just running down the clock, which I've ranted on this point in the past not about how I believe on a T side, time is a commodity that is for yours to play with. And if you just kind of run that down for no reason, for no net gain, then you're only harming yourself.
Yeah, one of the things though, if you wait for the clock too long, then the CTs can get information they can stack against you. But luckily for them, they haven't done that. JD peeking towards ramp, spots the players, another rotation shot coming.
Orb's going to be firing off a couple of shots here and there, trying to make the best of the situation, but CEX are just dropping them all dead. This is a bloodbath yet again. They're finding all the picks they need now at this point, as T-Side will finally try and claw it on back, but look at this creative boost going on towards CT. Looks like Yano has spotted out, though, as he's going to try and throw a bit of a nade to Duncan there, but Astro still going to find the shot on towards court. Strawberry Lightning still standing, though, as he's looking to peek out on towards Zagti, almost a pillar for comical names, and the pillar to close that final frag needed for the team. CX 6-2.
Yeah, this is a mess. This is definitely a mess. Rasta Gaming going for the set execute towards A. Did they fluff their smokes? I'm not really too sure what happened. Somehow, some way, an AWP against an A execute managed to find 2 early picks before the bomb is even planted, which should never be the case here. Astro didn't even push. They just walked into his crosshair from CT, so Maybe a missmoke there. Definitely a kerfluffle or whatever. I don't even know don't even know what that word means, but I don't even know if I know what I'm witnessing here on the T side of Rasta. Jump spot comes in. They spot one player there, but they didn't spot the bomb just yet. There won't be an over rotation from the CT side.
Astro got to bear down in towards underpass, and at this point it is beginning to get to that point, right, where CX are starting to run away with it. I think that has to be said.
Yeah.
So for Rasta Gaming, I feel like they need to assert their dominance early if we aren't going to see, I'm going to go as far to say it, 13-2. That's one way to do it, though. Hayden, a very, very artistic deagle on towards Brody.
Artistic indeed. As he does cement the first round on the side of Rasta Gaming. Can they capitalize off of it, though? Boost towards window. I actually like that. The problem is, though, Strawberry Lightning Rezu towards Whorehouse. That's fun one, but will be traded up by Zakti, who picked up the rifle that Hayden did smash. Oh, that's a nice another shot there from Zakti. 3 versus 4, 40 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is pushing towards Shaw, but LS, hello. Molotov goes through as well. That takes off 6 seconds off the clock, but for some reason he decides to face.
Yeah, this is rookie mistakes right there from LS. There's no need for that at all, and I said this was Rasta Gaming's kind of last couple of chances to assert dominance. Dogs, they're doing it with pistols. They turn it completely around at this point. They're in a 2 versus 1 up against Astro. Does have the AWP, of course, and the kit, so Clutch, is on the cards. Hayden doesn't even have Kevlar behind him, but Zakti, he does. He has that body armor, and that's going to be important in this now. As they're in a 2 versus 1, they're going to look for these trade picks. Astro is going to try and go for a bit of a no-scope. At this point, may as well just try and back off away. Gets the 1 versus 1 against Zakti. They're going for the second. He's going to miss a crucial shot, giving Hayden the last final opportunity required. Delay that led into him, pick up that AWP, and Rasta Gaming take it 6-3.
Rasta winning the eco round there off of just basically the precipice. I can't even say words today. Precipice of the first headshot there towards mid. Zakti being boosted, getting the AK, finding himself 3 frags there. So really that round all coming down to the fact that Hayden lands that 1 deke towards the play in mid window. But then again, CEX here, they can get a full reset onto the side of Rasta. Oh, actually, no, they did win the eco, so they do have money already still in the bank. So Rasta, if they lose this, there could be a solid 4th buy into the next one. So CEX going to have to drain 2 rounds in a row if they want to break the money of Rasta Gaming.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tough one, but consistency is what is being called upon right now. Get yourself... Well... Make yourself change something together is really what we're gunning at there. It's Quartz and Psychic trying to be a duo to take control of short. We've got Yano just playing that lower part. Yeah, he's going to the lower end, almost the murky depths of connector, but Brody just being given the chance to go for a shot. Quartz just completely unclaimed it. A second on towards Yano. Crucial mistake there, it has to be said. Rasta Gaming almost falling short in the simplest of matters. Astro going to find himself at least 1, but Strawberry Lightning is going to mop things up, and it's not. It felt like Rasta in that circumstance were getting the advanced stuff right, but the basics wrong.
Yeah, fundamentals of Counter-Strike are very important. CEX taking full advantage of that, making it 7-3, and I mentioned the money was decent on the side of Rasta. Yeah, it is, so they will be buying into this one. 4 AKs, and actually Quartz dropping over a AK there to go on to a deagle. Quite interesting. Maybe Quartz not feeling very confident. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. 4 kills for him, but it will be... that was crispy there. 2 kills there for JDD, as Harry likes to call him. Molly goes up towards ramp. Flashes out, repeats. That's a really nice flash. Our voice just went.
Yeah, just like, your voices went, and just like Rasta Gaming's scoreline has went at this point. As it's 7-3, it's perhaps going to develop even further. As Josh... He's been a monster so far. He's playing for what would have been an ace there, but is going to at least get closed down eventually by Zakti, but that pits him at 3 HP. Quartz pretty much going to be the saving grace at this point with Strawberry Lightning and CT. Hope, gotta be said, it's non-existent really. He's going to get flashed off, which is at least going to buy a couple of seconds and allow the bomb to go down. But then that means Zakti, 3 HP, as aforementioned, is going to have a Molotov landing at his feet. He's forced to peek, and as expected, Strawberry Lightning is going to mop up that pick. So CX... mounting up the pressure, and there's one saying that really springs to mind when I think of Rasta Gaming. They say, don't learn to jump before you can run. Right now, Rasta Gaming, they've mastered walking. I think that's been good. They've got the the ability to know how to aim and know how to use their utility, and the real basics of CS. but they're trying to go for these huge, like almost complex strategies where it revolves around them having these sensible rotates and having this information and playing the default sensibly. But instead, what they need to do is just learn, the basics of team play.
Yeah, I don't think there's many teams in the UK that actually have strong team play though. So that's something where it's going to take a long time for them to get that. Especially as it's a very new lineup on the very old organization, Rasta Gaming. Let's see what they can do. Pushing towards the B-Apps on their Eco. LS finds one, but will be instantly put out by Zakti. Pushing through the smoke, though. Strawberry Lightning. Rezu locks that one down. Josh on the flank here. 3 players, the remaining 3 players on the T side, bunched up together. Easy frags here for the CEX.
You see what I mean, though? Even on an eco round, half of them commit through the Molotov and the other half don't. Like, if you're going to make those decisions on the fly, there has to be one clear voice that just says, all right, we're pushing this, or we're not pushing this. Just go. Yeah, that one word, just go. Like, if there's a Molotov thrown down and you're in an eco rush like that, yeah, it's a very, you don't want to overanalyze rounds like that at all because it's just an eco round. But that example applies, to what a lot of the decisions being made on gun rounds as well when they're pushing onto the sites and stuff. Like, they have themselves set up in really nice defaults, but then their timings on when they push, their timings of when they use their flashes and everything and actually take their peaks are all a little bit off. Like, they're flashing for each other with these great pop flashes, but then peaking 10 seconds after the flash actually pops.
Yep, 3 players towards mid. Brody C with a nice 2K there, but will be traded up by Yellow. And then you've got Sidekick pushing through the B short smoke. Not quite finding enough or anything at all at that matter. But Brody C going 2 for 1. That's a very good trade for your City side. Then again, the T's still have mid. The problem is that all of the players are mid, so now they have to slow this round down, have the bomb and a play, potentially go back to around to one of the either B-Apps or ramp, but instead actually the bomb's pushing up mid. They want to keep mid. Smoke off connector, good. Going up towards short. Problem is that they will be up through the smoke.
Oh, Astro.
Oh, he jumped in the box.
Oh, he's going to jump on the box, but he's also looking for Hayden. He's going to get that, what effectively is a quick scope right there and then. And Rasta Gaming, you got to feel for them in that circumstance, right? Because they actually did the right thing. They tried to take control of short and stick around mid and then kind of use that to push forward. But not many people are going to expect a player like Astro to hop on a box like that and hit that shot, but then the follow-up second on towards Hayden as well as he tries to respond. There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, I mean, when the connector smoke comes out, the play you're meant to make is exactly what Astro did there. Jump in the box and spot the short push. That way you know if they're going to be, and also you have a player close to the stairs to watch if they push through connector, right? Instead, though, they go up short. They get caught off guard by Astro. You should still be peeking that box just in case. That comes with experience. And that's something that a lot of these players on the Rasta side definitely do lack. That is experience. So, Epic LAN aside, that's LAN experience. Just experience in competitive scene itself. These UK games, these leagues are definitely where Rasta want to be. 10-3. Yeah, I haven't really seen too much from Rasta that I've really been impressed with. And Yellow bought. Are they buying into this?
The sad part right now is it feels a little bit unfortunate to say that Mirage is one of the better maps. So I'm kind of almost a little bit scared to think about what this second map is going to be, just judging off the scoreline currently, which feels like we may be getting to, perhaps the latter end of this game. And I'm not even going to evaluate the buy in this round slots because it's
2 players
questionable.
bought, 3 players didn't buy, 1 player
It's
goes
literally
mid, dies.
back to the pistol when they push through that Molotov half and half. That's what this round is. And that's where we're going to leave it. I'm just going to let this play out because that's a comm issue. I believe they have changed IGL recently.
Yeah, mate. I can tell.
But I don't think.
Who calls now? Was it Yellow before?
They're Orpa calls. It was, I believe, Yano, but now
Quartz?
I think it's either Hayden or Quartz. I don't know off the top of my head, but
okay.
All I know is a conversation I had with them, and one thing that was brought up quite a lot was we just changed our caller. So that's something to be said at least.
Yeah, JDD there, nailing Yano through the smoke. Yano being one of the players that actually did buy. So, yeah. I sound very, very confused because I am. I am very confused. 3 players buy, 2 players didn't. One of the players that did buy was Zakti, and he bought for a reason because look at this. 2 flags for him, making it. Well, was it 3 versus 3? But now 3 versus 2. Molly comes out. The bomb is not down yet. 20 seconds on the clock. 2 versus 2. These CT players are going to be quite aggressive here. Brody C trying to make the play will fall. Rezu from short.
Yeah, it's all on one man. Strawberry Lightning. He needs to really just try and bring the thunder that his teammates unfortunately struggle to do. Lands the perfect nade on towards Corpse. It's a great amount of damage. But he still has the unfortunate significance that it's going to be a double peek, and one that eventually sets him home. Does get a nice flash off, but it still isn't enough. So Rasta Gaming get themselves on the board with their 4th round, but the big question is it going to be 11-4, or are we actually seeing and bring it back to 10-5?
Yeah, 10-5 is definitely winnable. You mentioned a change in callers. That does make the T-side very, very sporadic and very difficult to pull off. So, on your CT side, it's a lot easier. Each player to themselves. CEX, though, they definitely practice Mirage a lot. On the odd lineup, they played Mirage a lot as well. Rezu, no stranger to Mirage, so I'm sure they're going to be fine. Question is, though, Rasta, can they show a different face on their CT side? Do they have the skill to match the level of CEX, and can they take it in their stride and try and make this a close game, or potentially a 1-0 in their favour? But with that, Bomb and 3 other players will push back towards middle. We'll be seeing a late mid take. I do like that, actually, as long as they take it properly and go for this B split and see if they can pull it off.
It certainly is going to be a tough one, but if they place themselves right and can use their utility, bear in mind they have a whole lot of it. These Molotovs, these flashes, most notably all the smokes that I'm seeing right now. But I'm seeing 3 mollies as well, which really is going to be a pertinent point for me just to clear out these angles. But they don't check connector, they don't even have it smoked. Astra and Brody being given a field day, just give them anything they want. Strawberry Lightning getting the easiest peak of his life.
Look, he never saw that angle before.
Exactly. He's going to at least find himself one, but this is bloodbath. CEX, they take it 11-4.
Yeah, his reaction then, it looked like he had never seen that angle there towards Rattlesnake. Well, the opposite Rattlesnake. What are those pillars called? Outside window, that pillar, as you jump up window, that first pillar. To the left of it is Rattlesnake. I can't remember what people call it. There's a name for it, I can't remember. But anyway, the pillar there, you jump on it. You jump on the little wooden ledge there, you can spot B-apps, that little tiny gap there. Maybe Psychic doesn't know about it or didn't anticipate it there, as he was caught off guard. So, 11-4, very commanding and very, I don't want to say easy, because it sounds quite rude, but the wind was in their sails the whole time. 11-4, Rasta, they need a pistol here, otherwise this could end very, very quickly for Rasta Gaming. And talking about that, the pistol round it is 2 sets of smoke. This could be a jungle smoke and a connector smoke. Sorry, jungle and stairs smoke to fake out a push towards B short.
Yeah, push towards B short, Glocks in hand. They're just going to try and really rock this one out right until the very end. And, well, I commend them for keeping it going. Will Rasta Gamer prevail on their CT side as they wait patiently with these USPs? Already Strawberry Lightning looking to greet Yano as he does get himself that quick flick up on towards stairs as the push to roll in. Quartz needs to go absolutely huge, and this is beautiful. Quick change of pace, exactly seemingly what they need as Quartz doing all the work towards short. Eventually going to make a bit of a blunder, which will allow Josh an opportunity to fight on back. That is a teammate, so don't go for that. But nonetheless, it is a 4v2.
Oh no, don't throw this, please. They spotted both players now. They know exactly what both players is, but Psychic is still here, peeking towards short.
Just don't throw this. Is all that has to be said. Just don't do this, Rasta.
Look at the HP as well. 13-11. USP does 14-1. So, 1 bullet from the USP onto both of these players will result in the round win for Rasta, and potentially the comeback there. They do both go towards T-spawn, but look at the CT player playing towards all the way back CT. He doesn't want to give up his frag and his life at all. Actually, this might catch CEX off guard. They might actually push CT here in full towards the player playing passive.
So I'm getting very, very tense right now looking at this map, because all I'm seeing is CX being given a sight on a whim. There is no one there to spot this one out. Providing they plant this bomb appropriately, providing shots are landed, we could be seeing this actually take place now. Hayden needs to peek. This is one chance, but instead he's going to play it passively. Suppressive fire from a Glock is what holding back, and the peek comes in, and he is going to fall. Josh is going to win the battle. Almost looking like Josh wants to charge forward and pick up that USP. He is going to get away with that. Zacti, though, is going to peek the elevated angle, finds one in return, brings it back now to a 1 versus 2. Josh looking for the ones that landed on towards Zacti.
Jump on the box!
Rasta Gaming, don't let this one happen. Psychic is in CT. He's jumping on around the place. He is not spotting him out. He didn't spot the head. Finally goes for the shot. He will fall. And Psychic is going to get the frag required. A triple kill for him in that round. But Snoz, that was way too close.
That was a 5 versus 2. And somehow a 1 versus 1. And the bomb down for CEX. Rasta, 5 on the board. They can't allow any of these rounds to slip. They need it to go to 11-7. If CX take a win, oh sorry, 11-6 even. CX, they will have the buy into the next round as the bomb was somehow planted. And that will result in a lot of pressure early on for Rasta. Ideally, you didn't want the bomb to go down, so it's 11-7. You get another free round here if CX run eco. But instead, giving them the bomb plant might even give them the game.
It's always up for grabs, but for now it is going to be Hayden to get himself a beautiful quadra kill as he whips out his sidearm to get that fourth on towards Astro. Leaving Zacti to get the final pick towards up and mid as he catches the head of Josh with that UMP. So it is going to be an 11-6 scoreline. CX are going to finally pierce onto this buy though, and that's where things get a little bit more difficult yet again. The rifles are coming on up, and can't help but feel like that close corner with the pit, or the close shave, should we say, on that pistol round is only going to motivate CX to push even harder as well, which...
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there's always this thing in the UK where a lot of teams say, you know what, we went into this match just not really trying, we went into this match with not too much respect, and we just had a bit of a laugh, and I feel like for CX, they probably wouldn't have gone into this thinking Rasta Gaming are going to be able to upset them or anything along those sort of lines, but there is going to come a point where they just decide, you know what, screw it, boys, let's just close this out and get it done. I feel like that pistol round is going to be where that arrives, and now on this buy round, I'm expecting to see 5 rifles do all the work, and I'm expecting this one to get closed out relatively soon.
Yeah, bomb towards the top of middle. Slow default here for CX. They know they've got that aim advantage here in terms of skill on paper. They want to give themselves time to abuse it. Quartz here watching for the underpass peak. Free kill there for him. Brody C jumping into the scope of Quartz. Josh somehow finding the kill on Yellow. Maybe, why is he still facing that? Dacty falls 4 versus 3.
Unfortunate positions there for Zacti. Questions yet again to be raised, and a learning experience, suffice to say. As Quartz is going to get spotted out towards CT. Josh is going to get punished by Hayden as he tries to dip back in towards Connector. But look at CX, they're not even on the A site. They're not even remotely close. Instead, they're actually in B apartments. They're clearing the site. Like it going to try and pin things down, but the only thing he's pinning down is his grave as he begins to construct that one for himself. Now the bomb is going to find its way over, and it's going to be left in a 3 versus 2. It's going to start to tick. And all that's doing is getting Quartz to be that little bit more, not necessarily nervous, but feisty with the angle that he's holding as he decides, you know what, I need to start moving forward, and he starts being a bit jittery, and just look at this. He's really just kind of all over the place. Peeks to the right of him, goes for the information, but doesn't actually fire the shot. That would have been beautiful if he hit that. If he actually committed and felt confident to hit that, that would have been quite something. But instead, he just almost shoulder peeks it. Doesn't quite feel like there's anyone actually going to be there. Just does the whole precursory of, oh, I flicked my crosshair there, so I checked the corner. And that really does punish them. CX will take the round.
12-6 now. CX winning the first buy round of the half. Means Rasta already on a full eco. It's going to go to 13-6. I don't think we're going to see a comeback like we did from Mirage. On Mirage, that was 13-7. 13-6. It's doable, but from what we've seen so far from Rasta, I really do lean this more in the favor of CEX, and especially with double the rounds as well. They could upset, who knows. Full eco here. They're going to use a miracle if they want any chance of taking this one.
Miracle is one thing, but Lord knows what they really need at this point. A lot of pressure on their pistols to tap these heads. CX, full control of mid. Yet again, the map is their oyster. They can go anywhere they so choose. Zacti caught facing short one too many times. Josh will be there to punish him. The same player, the same circumstance, and effectively the same all round. That narrative is coming to a bit of a brute end. Yano is holding a nice position, should I say.
Position.
We'll get it out in the end. But
I've had my fair share of whiffed words, don't worry.
Well, whiffed words, whiffed shots. Yano, so much pressure to do here. But he whiffs the second frag.
Yeah. So, Astro low HP though. Josh as well. Strawberry Lightning shooting his teammate and shooting the enemy as well. Hayden does fall. That looks like funny. Josh as well takes down Quartz. Side kick. In the 1 versus 2. And actually, with Astro on 3 HP, this might be winnable.
It's doable, but Psychic has really got to make sure he's got his read on this. Peeks out, spots him out, gets the advantage with that shot, so brings it back to a 1 versus 1. But Strawberry Lightning has the HP, and he's playing on top of the box. And Psychic is going to spend a lot of time jumping. Doesn't quite have the read as he, well, pointed out, desperately needed. And that means that the round you thought was winnable is in fact unobtainable. CEX will take it 13-6.
So, buy round coming in now for Rasta. Let's take a look at the money. Oh, wow. Hayden on a deagle?
Hayden is the guy who's taken onto the team nearly every round.
I saw his money before he bought. I think it was about 2.5k. So you can't. I mean, you could have bought a scout and gone mid. Scout gone CT towards a CT and jump spot ramp. I mean, there's much more you can do than just a deagle. Yes, you get a nice headshot when you're on your T side many rounds ago. But
He's got an incendiary grenade.
And Rasta also have the first kill.
Yeah, that's so far the ball's in their court, right? Let's see if Hayden can do something with this deagle. If he really is going to kind of be looking to put a staple mark in towards mid. Utility being the forefront of their buy. Quartz almost certainly looking to peek into this one, but Josh waits for the smoke to fade. Is going to be there to take him down a peg. A Molotov in return. I like this from Josh, actually. That's very adaptive, because he knows that Zacti has been playing short every single round. So, what's the way to respond? Throw a Molotov down, stop him from rotating, and then peeks into CT, catches off Psychic. Brody is going to be there to find the frag on towards Hayden. Zacti, the last man on short. They know exactly where he's going to be. He does get to at least find that pick, and, you know, it's quite something. But he's in a 1v2 with the bomb going down, and whiffs the flash.
Zacti, maybe the pressure getting to him a little bit. Whiffs the flashbang. Wouldn't have done much anyway because look how far out he is. But both of these players stacking up towards ramp. Gets one, and now he doesn't expect the second.
Didn't realize the second's going to be there. Yeah, that was the curveball there. I had to jump in and say that because that was the huge thing. Right?
Yeah, does he expect the second player? Yes, he does actually, surprisingly. But then again, such an easy peek there as he's falling down from grace. 14-6. Not too much you can read into this one. 4 spot comes up from Rasta, 5-7 Deagles, but we've seen what happened before when they're on their pistols. CEX took advantage of them very cleanly. Then again, there was that round. It was the 1 versus 1, so could potentially get back to that situation again.
I've got to say, I'm so concerned though because Mirage is one of their most practiced maps. So I really hope that this second map is either Cobblestone or Cache, or Mirage again. If not, I'm very scared. They have been cracking overpass a little bit recently.
And now you've told them what they're playing, so congratulations. Now think about that. I don't think you realised what you just said there.
Well, I mean, fingers crossed no one's actually sitting there watching the stream, but, you know. If anyone's played this one sensibly and done their research, they'll already know. So, it's standard stuff, really. Brody is going to try and take the battle. He does get it, and nice success.
Brody C screaming in my ears there on voice number 1 if you got that on. 15-6. Rasta, Famas's, UMPs, and M4 and yellow. And I have Mag 7 for Psychic. Here's the B player. Could get some action, but CX, they go towards mid. They get given kills towards Connector, and then they get given kills towards A. That's how they've been playing. And Hayden there so low, and actually Quartz killed his teammate.
Yeah, disastrous stuff at this point. It's pretty much the end at this point. Yeah, Brody's going to find the pick on towards Zacti. It's just going to be Psychic left standing. 4 rifles, 1 Mag 7, and, well, yeah. Psychic is going to get the 180 reversal at least. So frag on towards Astro, but mid-air freeze. As he finds another on towards LS, now looking to hold on towards Brody. Brody nearly getting the drive-by as he just continues to run on through. But with the Molotov to go down, that bomb is going to keep on ticking, and it still is going to be the end. It's still the same old result. It's just a matter of it being prolonged.
GG. 16-6. CX very commanding lead here. The thing that's good as well, they didn't really show much as well. All they had to do was just outscale Rasta. Rasta Gaming, you need to go over this and rethink the way you're playing your T sides. You need a better default, better structure. Still, we do have one more map to play. And that'll be coming to you very shortly, as we shall be going to a break. Anything you want to plug out quickly, Flex?
Not really. I was just going to kind of touch a point on, you mentioned the veto and the stuff like that about, you know, always spoiling the maps and stuff like that, but, you know, removing the joke and the comedy from all of that. If you think about it on paper, to be honest, if you think the veto is going to play a part in CEX taking this one 2-0 at all, then I'm going to be heavily surprised.
I don't. So there you go.
Yeah. There you have it. We'll be right back with you very soon.
to the ground. I see the grey skies are coming all around. See, I start to lose my vision, but I'm holding on to sound. No fear, I'm still hearing. Wrong skin, but I'm healing. No fear, I'm still hearing. Wrong skin, but I'm healing. I'm holding on to sound. No fear, I'm still healing. Wrong skin, but I'm healing. No fear, I'm still healing. Wrong skin, but I'm healing.
As the sun steps down and escapes the day, we'll calmly walk away from the walk away from the fray. When structure falls and all else fails, we will build it once again. We can climb high, higher than before, or we could stand by while it burns to the floor, though we cannot fly. We will build and the wounds will mend as we build it once again.
Hello and welcome back to UKGT. Of course, this is the first season. This is week 2, day 1. We've already had ourselves our full suite of matches, but it's time for us to come to what will be our last and, well, ultimate match of the night. It's going to be Rasta Gaming and CEX on map 2. Now, the first match is always going to be hella tough, really. It all really was, wasn't it? It was quite the unfortunate storyline. The second map also being Cash, you know, similar sort of affair, right? It's one of their most practiced maps, I think, so Cash they should have a good shot on, but Snods, what are you thinking in kind of quick concession right before this pistol round really gets going?
Well, talk about the pistol round real quick, and then I'll talk about my predictions after that. Yeah, no. Oh, this is good. This is good. CX here, waiting for the push towards the seat, towards the main, but the CT's here holding just... Actually, are they getting a bit cold feet here? They are. They had such a good crossfire, and actually, exactly there taking down Strawberry Lightning will cause the fate.
Lock going to go ahead first. Brody trying to make the best of it, but LS is going to kill his teammate. That's a mistake and a half. He will make up for it by the frag on towards Psychic. Nastro will respond with another one on towards Quartz, so it still is falling into place for CEX. They will get that pistol round in very crisp, well, succession, if I'm honest, but a team kill nonetheless does roll on in.
So, Cash. Definitely a map where individual skill plays a massive, massive role, especially on T-side Cash. Rasta Gaming, they're going to have to come with some very good setups on their CT side, some very good team play if they want any chance of really fighting back the sheer firepower that CX have. I mean, Brody C is going to run over boost and kill your players in mid. He's going to peek A and kill your players in A. If you don't have the right setups to counter that. I mean, I could talk about the setups to counter those sort of plays if we see them happen. But for now, in my eyes, this should be a 9-6 in favor of CX, and then CX close it off from that. But the fact they won pistol, this could end very, very badly for Rasta unless they really do pick it up early.
Yeah, I think momentum is going to be another huge factor, but we've droned on about that all night, and perhaps Nods, you can kind of help me out here and explain why momentum is important in CS, because I feel like one of the big things you'd never want to do in a situation in casting is we don't want to kind of refer to all these things like momentum and playing together and team synergy and stuff without really covering necessarily the basics. So I know we've got some newer guys watching us, Nods, who don't necessarily have a lot of knowledge or experience in CS2. So yeah, why is that so important?
Right, why is momentum important on your CT side, especially your CT side? It's all about money, right? Obviously, psychologically, it does play a slight factor, the fact that you've got all this confidence behind you. If you're 5 rounds in the lead, you've got the confidence to go for the picks, and confident picks means potential openings towards A or B side, all that stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it comes down to money. On your CT side, if you do not have momentum and consistency, you cannot build up a bank. If you constantly win one round, get reset again, and don't build your rounds up together and chain them together, your bank will not build. Your money will be low, and that will mean subsequent ecos, subsequent quasi-buys, quasi-buy being a half buy. For example, if you've got 3k, you quasi-buy by armor and PT50 and a flashbang, that puts you to 2k, you can buy into the next round, right? That's a quasi-buy. So, if you do not chain rounds together with momentum, then you cannot build up the 6ks, the 7ks to where if you lose a round, then it's fine because you can still buy into the next one.
There's going to be a pistol to peek in towards A main. Josh, there. Almost just Prize ready to pop that trigger, and he does so the minute the push does rolling in, gets himself the early pick with the UMP, and from there, it's going to be exact deep to try and almost retain some aggression as he's sitting perched upon the squeaky door, just almost toying with the idea of perhaps going a little bit further forward. But I think for now, kind of a lot of the best value position he's got is actually where he currently is, right? Because if he actually just holds that push when it does come in through door, he actually has a bit of an interesting angle, which you don't usually see. So hopefully he can use that to his advantage for now, as CEX still very clustered up in A main. You've got the lurker that is Strawberry Lightning as he darts around the map, but for the most part, there's going to be that. And there's Zaki actually making use of that angle, as mentioned. But then there's LS with the UMP putting them in the grave.
The grave indeed. 3-2 right now. And actually, so far, a strong force play from Rasta Gaming. Already 2 guns out of the hands of the CEX side. If they can get any more, that has been an added bonus here. Problem is, they're looking at the after plant position from the T side. It's going to be very hard to find a pick hit. Brody C towards forklift, peeks out, bears down sidekick. And now Hayden in the 1 versus 3. Doesn't quite get that frag. So 2-0 in favor of CEX. Rasta on the full eco now. USPs, potentially a PT50 or so. Then again, we are looking at an early lead here for CEX. 3-0. And following that, look at the money as well. 5,000. Oh, actually didn't have to rebuy. So 2,000, 2,000, and then 2,000 is one Astra. So 3 players with money to buy, even if they lose this. And if they win the first buy round as well and go 5-0 and get the momentum, we could be seeing players have the bank of 6,000 plus. And that's where even if they lose multiple rounds, they can still keep buying and keep applying pressure.
And pressure, just such a pivotal factor of this lineup. Look at Astro, the movement reigning supreme as he just flies out mid, gets the advantage on towards Zacti, and this is just looking like a brutal eco round that is coming to a very swift end for Rasta Gaming. Hayden is going to be the last to fall. He's going to be claimed by Josh with the UMP. The CX will take it 3-0.
Now, Rasta Gaming, they really have to step up into this one. We saw on their CT side Mirage, they couldn't quite deal with the amount of skill and raw firepower on the side of CEX. Hopefully, on Cash, they can. Cash is one of those maps where you don't have to have the T's just directly peek into it, right? A side, play towards MBK, you can hide onto site, allow them to run into your crosshair. On mid, you can play white box, which push towards Ven, again, run into your crosshair. B, play back boxes, watch them run underneath Heaven, run towards the blue area there, 3 kills there. So, lots of angles where you don't actually have to meet them one-on-one in terms of duels and in terms of just pure aim and skill. One of those maps where on your CT side you can plug a lot of rounds.
Exactly, just going to be looking for a pick in towards A main. Of course, they should have a rough idea that perhaps there's going to be a player there. Astro, of course, just holding almost on that box. But for now, it is just CEX getting themselves in position. A couple of flashes being lobbed around the place. A lot of it going towards mid, though. And I think mid is proving to be a very key part of CEX's overall game plan in Cash. And it's no real surprise, to be honest, because if you get control of Cash, in terms of, if you get control of mid on Cash, should I say, then you pretty much have an option to go anywhere on the map, which is why on your T side, it's so important to do that. And On the CT side, in reverse, it's one of the most crucial points to hold, unless you're going for a hard site hold play. But the problem right now is that Zacti, he's standing there, for example, has no idea that his teammates have even left mid, which means that he's get caught completely off guard, no idea what is coming his direction. Hayden pushing through a smoke just willy-nilly, no care in the world, and
then
it is a very brutal outcome. Look at LS coming through B on CT.
Yeah, these players are like deer in headlights. They're getting caught off guard left, right, and center. Poor communication on the side of Rasta. You need to give the information that they can come highway. You need to say that they can push up mid. Okay, they can come vents. You've been smoked off. Give the call. Maybe it's Zacti's fault. Maybe they called it, but he didn't anticipate them to be that fast. Not quite too sure just yet. Then again, I did mention that CEX they'll have Brody C and multiple players go over boost and just pure angel you. Just take advantage of you that way. And the sad thing is as well, Quartz, he flashed into A main, died, yeah, but he made the right play, okay? The problem was Zacti wasn't there with him. You have to have both players on the A side being on the ball. They're playing as a team and having team play. If you lose mid on CT side, you have to gain control of the map somewhere else. Flashing into A main was the right play. The problem was that they didn't play it, and they didn't execute it properly as a team.
Again, at least the foundations are there, right? That's always the positive to be found in the needle in the haystack scenario. It currently feels like we are perched upon us. At least Zacti is going to try and rattle a couple down highway, but bear in mind it's also just USPs, right? That just adds another bit of bleakness into the round. So what we're looking towards is going to be Rasta Gaming on their bye. That's kind of where we get to perhaps see a bit of a game changer, maybe a bit of a fighting chance. Are we looking at a swift kind of 9-0 real stressful build-up for CEX? Do you expect Rasta Gaming to at least be able to curve in, or how far do you think this is going to go is kind of what I'm hinting at right now.
11-4. I guess Psychic will be traded out. Yeah, Psychic will be traded out. Zacti last live the USP, trying to get a kill here. Astro just stomping around like Nelly towards mid-main. Unfortunately, Zacti will push and die. 5-0. Rasta, if they lose this one, it goes to 7-0. At that point, are you really going to be able to catch up? It will get very, very tough for them, and situations already looking pretty dire. Orp on Quartz on your flashbang as well. They've all bought head armor. Okay. They know they're versus AKs.
I think that's such a small thing, though, right? In terms of
350.
CS. No, but I mean,
prevalent.
knowing not to do that, it's a prevalent thing, but it's such a small issue in the grand scheme of things. I think if they can play some good CS, then that's at least something.
It's just nitpicky, but then again,
money's money.
yes, yeah. I was about to say. I mean, Quartz buying head armor, that's a smoke grenade, you shoot your AWP, you smoke off a main, you watch any pushes that come through, or you smoke a main, you peek Squeaky, if there's a player Squeaky. We can touch on that a bit later. Once the round has unfolded, as it already has. Josh finds a kill, that's only 1 HP. Finds 2 kills, sorry. And now the shift comes towards the B bomb site. They can hear this as well, but the rotation hasn't left from mid. Astra, the molly, and the nade as well will put him to 53 HP.
A lot of pressure on Yano's shoulders right now as Brody going to be going ever so aggressive. Yano holding the angle. Hayden peeks out the perfect time from Heaven to mean that he is going to at least stay alive. But Asher, look at him dart on towards that site as well. Got himself on there. It's going to be an AWP in the hands of Quartz. Rifle on towards Hayden. At least he was able to pick up that trade as previously mentioned. But this is going to be tough for them. Josh on 1 HP is a bit more of an insurance policy and makes this one seem possible. But it relies on team play. A flash to come on in is great. That's a good start. But where are they going to go from this? What's their transition going to be? Are they going to go 1 Heaven, 1 CT? Are we going to see a quick drop down from Heaven? Well, there's your answer. A quick trade, in fact, as Hayden is going to be the last man standing. He's got an orb bearing right into his head.
Easy shot there. Astro, Hayden walks into his crosshair from headshot. And that will result in 6-0 in favor of CEX. And well-timed pause, sorry. Talk about momentum as well. When a team has got a lot of momentum, they're strung together 4 or 5 rounds in a row, or in this case 6. Taking the pause to have a break, and to cool down, and to try and stop the momentum continuously build on the side of CEX. Maybe they're all fired up. I mean, we heard on, if you had voice table 1 on, they're screaming and shouting, getting fed up, all red to go. Taking a pause, taking a breather can sometimes slow that down. Have a break as well. Sometimes if you're losing a lot of rounds, you can get a bit heated. Maybe, I don't know, Zacti's frustrated that they came up highway. Maybe he's had a bit of an argument. Who knows? But just taking the pause there and the breather can definitely change your mindset and reset your mind. And definitely help with mounting a comeback. And at this point, 7th round, and Rasta haven't found 1 yet on the board. So you have to be seeing a strong reshape of their CT side here.
One thing that I kind of want to throw this back to is just a couple of rounds ago I said 9-0 and you almost took it by surprise. You were like 9-0. Why are you saying 9-0? You could almost hear that confusion almost. And this is kind of why, right? I think that Rasta Gaming, they have yet again a lot of premise, and I do want to give huge props to Hayden for calling this pause. He did the exact same thing in the previous map as well. He's always called these pauses, at pretty much the perfect time. But getting back to the point at hand, they have the premise, but getting the execution is where they really start to struggle. And I think CT side for Cash is looking very, very disastrous. That's the tough reality. We have to be honest. We're presenting it how it is. CEX have full control, and you look at their economy right now and go, okay, well, what's their play? Do they go for a quasi-buy, something they've done in the past? Do they just kind of sit tight and try and make the best of it? Well, they have got Hayden with just a famous Snow Kevlar at the moment, so I'm almost expecting that to get some use. But it leaves a very eerie feeling about the next couple of rounds that makes that 9-0 seem possible.
Hayden has enough to buy armor then. You got me worried. You got me very worried for a second there. So, Hayden's bought, and the 4 other players haven't. And he hasn't bought armor yet. Drops the deagle.
Something is clearly going on. You can almost hear the cogs ticking. And
something's not right here.
there's a game plan.
He hasn't got armor.
Drop it to Zakti, I assume, right?
Drop it to someone with armor, surely.
Well, just drop it to Zakti. He's the only one with body armor.
We saw this up in the last game when 2 players bought, 3 players didn't buy.
I don't understand.
And that was a mess. And now they've done, I don't want to say similar thing, because there's only 1 player now, not 2. But funny enough, actually, one of the rounds that, Rasta won out of their 6 was actually the round where they misbought.
Just drop it to Zakti is the only thing that springs to mind, but nonetheless, moving away from the buy, moving to the present. Zakti with the 5-7 goes aggressive in A main, and hey ho, you know what? He gets a frag, so perhaps it is going to be kind of reminiscing times that gets them around on the board. As Astro and Brody will peek in towards A main, they're going to be looking to get control, and I think once CX realize what's going on, we're going to go back to one big site hold, and for them, should I say, I think the A site is going to be the target, with a bit of mid thrown in.
Bit mid thrown in. Late mid take, but Quartz is on the ball. Watching left side of main, doesn't quite land the 1 dig. Fortunately for him, how can they not boost the player up? There we go.
I think everyone makes that mistake, right? we've all screwed up hitting that crouch button.
Yep, Yellow jumps point towards 8. As soon as he, gets the tick, in his head, thinking, there's no noise, there's no flashes, there's no steps. Nothing towards highway, there's a player in vent. This could be a B split. It's looking like it is. Can Rasta hold this one off?
Hayden is in a very good spot to get himself a pick here, which is already a lot of value, as it brings it down to a further advantage. Astro is going to find the pick in return on towards him. Quartz can't fall here, but unfortunately Ellis gets the easy peek on towards him. Psychic and CT is going to look to make it work with the P250. Goes for a couple of drive-bys, doesn't want to push this, and now that man advantage and everything they had, all the work they built on up, their entire empire has crumbled, and they've crashed real hard, real quick. It's going to be the caffeine blocking on off. They all will fall. Brody going to drop them dead in mid, and CX take it 7-0.
Very commanding lead here for CEX. Rasta, this is the round. They're buying. Actually, Hayden has gone off to buy now, so even though he didn't have armor, he did get AWP'd as well, so it's not the end of the world for them. 2 AWPs, 3 rifles for the CT side. Is this the right play? I think so. 1 AWP towards mid, 1 AWP towards A, or 1 AWP towards B even. Let the T's walk into your scope, and that's exactly what's happened.
Exactly, doing some sweet work right now. Gets himself that second. Now looking for the third. Should even be able to find this. Is going to be beautiful for him. Looking now for the quadric element. Are they going to give it to him? Throws a great pop flash down. Drops down the smoke as well. Looking for Josh. Pre-aims that. This is beautiful. Zakti out of his shell, out of nowhere, doing God's work for his team. And he pops off a flash through that smoke. Astro will be there as well to find a quick flick back on towards Hayden. Oh, the timing on that. So uncomfortable. Tech 9 in hand. Brings it back in towards Checkers. That bomb, of course, is going to be dropped, but most notably is the time, right? He has a minute to play with, give or take a few seconds. That's a lot. But Zakti being patient, he's just holding onto this wall. Decides to kind of readjust, but he's going to get the peak. There is the ace. Zakti going absolutely huge. He's a monster in 1 round, but is he going to fall apart in this next? That's the thing I'm looking towards right now, because he's just pretty much woke up and doubled his kills. That's great from him. There's a lot of impact in that. He's got his team on the board. But if they get reset now and he struggles along with the rest of his team to do much more, that round could be a curse in disguise.
Blessed with a curse, as they say. This could eventually go to a full reset for Rasta. And from there, it gets very, very dark. Astro already found the first pick onto Psychic. Hayden here towards Sandbags. Not peeking. Actually, I like this play. Holding for the push out towards Boost. Instead, though, picks up the smoke. Ooh. Will re-smoke mid. Towards White Block. Boxing shot play passive. Astro, you can't get a second kill from the same spot. That would have been a massive blunder there from Hayden, I believe. But still, holding in towards Connector. Zach, they're peeking out. The 6th kill for him with the AWP already in 2 rounds. Very strong play.
Yeah, great stuff from him, and clearly keeping it together, which is kind of what we doubted at and wanted to get an answer for. They are at a man disadvantage. Let's see how they're going to approach this. Quartz, second AWP for the CT side. A bad smoke on highway gives him pretty much the perfect opportunity to really do some great work here, as he can just hold down that angle, right? Toying with the idea of checking A main as well.
He's got nades, so really, with 40 seconds left, you should smoke A main. Once he gets to 30 seconds, Molly highway, flash A main, but instead he's done nothing. He has flashes though, and a good AWP aim. Peeks out, takes 1. Throws up the Molly as well. Alesto finds 1, and so does Strawberry Lightning. Rezu on the cards to take down Quartz. 1 versus 3, and it's looking like a reset.
Yeah, that reset really is looking rather tasty now for the Rasta boys. Yano, the last man there, is over towards Car, looking to drive himself home from this one. Gets himself in towards Connector at least, or just right at the cusp of it. Crosses over towards B site now, as he's very nearly on towards CT, and just looking to really hold and make sure that he can't quite get pushed. Wants to save an AWP, that's best case scenario by far. Just Josh toying with the idea of pushing on over, and if he does push this angle, it's going to be a frag. But instead he flicks up towards Strawberry Lightning, goes for the repeak. Josh looking to chase him down with a P250, it seems, but I don't see much value in it at the end of the day. Time is going to swing on by. The bomb's going to go off for the P250 to pop him in the head.
8-1. The reset now for Rasta. The money is fairly bleak. They can force this. Rifle onto Quartz. Pistols and 5.7s on the other remaining players, but it's looking like the save. The problem is here, though. 1.6k on Yano and 1.4k. Yano buys. So does Zakti. So, looking like potentially double eco here.
They double tap towards mid and they get themselves a frag for their troubles. Astro is going to find himself the quick trade with the AWP though, and toying with the idea of peeking him down even further as he tries to really sprawl out across the map. Throws down a Molotov to make sure his close position is clear as well once that spot has been dealt with. And he whips out his not his USP, his AWP should I say, and looks back towards Connector. Clearly just looking for the center of control at this point. Eventually he drops in towards A main, and it's the same sort of storyline for CX. They clear out these angles, they use their Molotovs, and they force these pistols into very uncomfortable positions, but Hayden and Zakti making it work as Yano over towards highway, quick on the rotate, another one tap on towards Josh. Astro is the last man standing. He's peeking wide.
Once again, Rasta somehow taking these eco rounds into play. Astro though, last alive again for his side. Gets 1, gets 2.
Oh no. Not like this, Rasta. You had yourself an opportunity. These eco rounds were so strong for you. I can't help but feel that Yano should have been able to achieve something there from that elevated position of Catwalk as well. It almost felt like a bit of a freeze frame. It's now Psychic, the last man left to try and stutter step his way through A main. Astro, a triple kill so far. Tech 9 in hand now. He's got so much utility as well. He's got a smoke and a Molotov. He's going to throw it out. Psychic knows exactly where he's playing from. He's got the deagle. All he needs to do is land a perfect shot, but the timing allows him to be knocked down to 4 HP. Now the Molotov on the bomb. Astro's actually going to miss this, so this gives him an opportunity. Astro nearly even burning away in the flames. Psychic drops him down, does some damage to the rifle, and will win the battle.
He's won it. Oh, it's going to be very close. Okay. Astro wins the 1 versus 3 on time. No kit there for Psychic, results in a 9-1 scoreline. Rasta, they bought into that one, and now they have to save again. This is going to go to a 1-10 in favor of CEX. And then the buy will come in, and then at that point, Rasta are going to have to very, very well step up. They won 1 round when they were full eco. They got the kill towards mid. But will CX give away another frag that easy again?
I feel like the CX mentality is just to get it done. You know, whether it's a dirty job or what, they just want to bodge it all in and make it work. They don't care whether it works, smoothly or whatever. They just want it to happen, and that seems to be their approach to these rounds, which are why we're seeing these get a little bit messy with the deagle shots and the aggressive pushes. Fortunately, going to get himself a double kill there, but then we see the trade from LS, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. I'm expecting to see these trades come back through. They still have all this utility. Yeah, I know the push though from B is a bit of a curveball for LS, so that actually is where things start to change. There's going to be a 2 versus 4 and a push out on towards A.
Yep. 2 versus 4. Actually, if Psychic pushes here at the right time, it could catch on the place of guard. It's a nice shot there from JDD. Spray through the smoke as well. Zacti falls. 2 versus 2. 2 sets of AKs and 2 modders on the CT side, but no kits. And they're both coming in from A main.
Once they realize that one's coming from A, will they realize the second is going to be there as Astro nearly making a mess of things, and Molotov is going to go on down. 1 second about though, Astro just checking towards car. Should have known that those shots coming from A main. So that's already more information garnered for the side of CEX as he's now looking to hold off this angle. Gonna get given the first on towards Hayden. And yeah, oh, very, very crisp one tap actually, but there's not much time. Where is that bomb planted for actually? Oh, it doesn't even matter. Josh is gonna win the battle. Bomb was on the fault, so we could have actually seen a bit of a different outcome there if he decided to stick it, but he decided, you know what, I want to take this fight, I want to win via aim, and that avenue was quickly exploited by the side of CEX as they take it 10-1.
Astro there, another great play from him in these clutch situations. JDD though being the man of the hour, finding those 2 entries towards A. And then the 2 versus 2, they win it. 10-1 now, the buy comes in. No AWP on the side of Rasta. That was the only reason they won the first one. Hayden though with his M4 will get one. Little facing no quartz, it does fall. It's a bad smoke there from the T side. Astro as well catching Hayden on the rotate. And now, it's playing.
That's gotta be heartbreaking studs. Come on, you gotta tell me as a player, you've played in circumstances like this. That's gotta hurt when you're getting those sort of shots hit on you at this sort of scoreline. Yeah,
that's a nice shot there from Zacti. Josh though, JDD on the reply. 1 versus 3, no kit. Molly, Smoke, and HG Nate though, but nice script there from Astro. So, bomb is down. Yano all the way outside Squeaky. This is looking like a 11-1 scoreline. And again, another reset on the side of Rasta, but it feels like, you know, when they got pistols, they get more work done.
yeah, it's very weird all in all. But one thing I do want to say is I actually kind of want to give it to Zacti, and I think you might agree with me here. And in terms of player that has stepped up for the side of Rasta and really trying to push himself, I think we do have to lean towards him, right? You know, that AWPA, then a follow-up couple more picks with it. Now doing some very crisp work with the rifle and the pistols. His team really couldn't be asking for anything more from him as an individual.
We'll definitely say Zacti is the standout player on the side of Rasta Gaming. So, 12th round now. 1 round on the board for Rasta and 11 for CEX. The buy is going to be weak as well. Yano can drop an M4. At this point, you're going to have to force it. You can't allow CEX to get to 12-1. Because at that point, you're looking at a 13-2 or a 14-1 if things really do go south. But still, this round's definitely winnable. The force buy coming up from Rasta Gaming. This is probably the last chance they have. Make it 11-4 and try and do the same what CEX have done to you on your T side. But then again, it will be CEX holding the default. Astro, I thought it was on boost then, but will be towards A main, holding the push. Rasta, there's no reason to push A main. Your team has mid. There's no reason for Quartz to push here. But if he does find a frag, that'll be an added bonus.
Thoughts? Still looking for more information. Maybe spots ahead of Josh does and gets that pick. So that's already so much for the CD side to work with. They have themselves a staging ground. They can keep A main or they can give it up. That's their choice to make. They do have very, very passive mid control though, and I'm loosely defining that as passive because CX, the minute they even try and take it, they're going to get it with no defense at all. Which is going to be the case, ironically, just as we talk about it. It does take place. LS going to charge them forward. A bit of swappery going on the site. But yeah, the big thing is going to be now that Rasta Gaming is still opting for this mentality of, okay, hard site anchors. That's all our job right now, is that we don't care about anything else. We just want to pin down a site. Whether that it works, a whole different story.
Yep, at this point, you've got Psychic holding for the connector push. If they do go for the flank towards mid, then you've got the 2... Actually, they are going slowly shifting away from B, and this is where the T attack is coming from. Rezu dropping into checkers. Is he going to find the opening kill?
Could be a very nice read. Psychic trying to make it work through the metal vents, but unable to do too much damage. But nice attempt nonetheless. As LS, though, as he peeks on out, looks for a frag towards CT. That's going to be smoked off. Gano needs to be a hard anchor. Only able to find one, though. A quick trade come on in. Heaven is going to be held. They try and find the cross, but it's just too quick. Which means that LS is going to be able to get that bomb down planted for B main. But Hayden, it's going from CT, Quartz to come in from vents. This is looking very, very good. LS on 3 HP, surely there is no chance he can do anything at all. Rasta Gaming, they swarm on the site. And it gives CX no room to breathe.
The question is, Flakes, are Rasta gods on eco rounds or force buys, or are
I feel like
CX
their
just
pistols are so
awful?
much better than
Yeah,
anything
but-
else. Like,
Or are CX just really bad versus pistols and ecos?
I don't know, but I don't want to take it away from Rasta if I'm honest.
Yeah,
Because I feel like they're doing really well there. Their mentality is run at them with these pistols and force them to have to aim so many of us that they can't handle it. And hey, it's actually working. We can't knock them for it. It's winning them rounds. Not just in this match, in other matches as well. Because I'm not going to overhype too.
oh my
But-
god.
It's been a staple mark.
Yeah, failed boost there once again. Asher wants to go and boost every single round. Just hold for connector and hold white box as well. The bomb and JDD pushing already towards vent. Nade still strong on the side of the T's. Good nade there will chunk out only 14 HP off of Josh or JDD, sorry. Not the end of the world for him. Astra holding for the A main peak. And nade could do some damage as well, actually. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Oh, yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't. But still. Brody C catching that player out towards connector. Oh, the reface. One tap there from Brody C will make it 11-2. One man lead for CX. Potentially the reset here. If this round goes south, this could be 13-2.
Yeah, really, a disastrous scoreline has to be said. Quartz is going to find one consistently over on the back of this B site, but every time we see this, he always gets traded out. There you have it. Strawberry Lightning going to find not only one, but doubles it up for a second. Goes in with just a little bit more, as LS to be holding on top of Boost. A very unconventional position in terms of the flank on mid, and one that Zacti fails to check as Hayden is over towards Boost. The Molotov is going to burn away Brody, and he's just jumping around the site, so Hayden has so many opportunities there to do a lot of damage. And it does eventually find the pick, which puts him in a 1 versus 2. 20 seconds on the clock. The bomb has to go down. That's a given. It is on the back of the site, so there's no trouble in that. The question is, how's Hayden going to approach this?
Planted for checkers and not be main. Brody C peeking out slowly. Spots him. Will fall, actually. LS, the bomb. Oh, hold the ankle. They're walking to across there. Nice, fast headshot there from LS will result in a 12-2. The reset as well. The money on the side of Rasta. They can buy Famases. 5-7s and M4 of Hayden. Hayden buys head armor again. I mean, yeah, you mentioned before it's a little detail, but M4, don't buy head armor, just get a smoke grenade for mid.
Yeah, tough ground, I think. Flashes in towards their main. Zacti leading the charge with the Deagle. Finds himself one, looking for a second, gets away with it on towards Josh Zacti. Living up to the MVP of Rasta Gaming, it seems, for his team at this point, as Ellis waits for the push, though, over towards B and gets a quick trade back on towards Gano. So still not quite a fair scoreline in terms of players on either side. It is an advantage in the CT side court, especially given Hayden, as he's finding himself a double kill, make that what could have been a triple kill, but he runs out of ammo, as it is now Brody in a 1 versus 3. But this should be doable for Rasta Gaming. They do have a lot of firepower. I can see them, making this work.
No kits though on the side of Rasta. The Brody C can hold off the attack. Find one kill. Find the second and maybe draw out the 1 versus 1. Looking like it might happen here, but Quartz will take him down. Brody C low HP. 1 tag from the Deagle will make it 12-3. Rasta, they need this pistol if they want to stay in this. And for CEX, on their CT side, it's actually be interesting to see how they play. Will they go heavy towards mid? Will they push aggressively towards B or towards A and play for information? Or will they sit back, allow Rasta to make their own plays, and just win off of the retakes?
I think the other thing as well is to mention is, will CX go, over aggressive? Will they try and almost...
Yeah, that's what I was insinuating there.
Yeah, it's one of the concern will be that they almost go balls to the wall because they think they've won already. That has happened with UK teams in the past. I've fallen into traps where I've started talking about teams throwing and falling behind, when in reality it's just them kind of giggling around the place and having a laugh with it because they think they've already won. So is that CX mentality is kind of what I want to pitch to you?
It very well could be. I don't want to say they're a hot-headed team, but let's just say if they're winning rounds, the screams are coming out, they're getting hyped, and that confidence can sometimes merit
It
loss.
kind of consume you, I think.
Yeah, but it's also, if things go south and, you really feel like what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? Winded. If you feel winded, say you get punched in the stomach or whatever. Oh, Brody C with a nice one tap there. What I'm saying is it can be a very gutting feeling if you do not have any momentum or anything in your favor.
LS is going to find one on towards Hayden. Yano will respond with a quick trade in return down for Event, but look at Brody's position. What was that snap on towards Quartz? Looking now for another. Josh is just going to mow him down as well as he finds the pick on towards Psychic. Yano is the last man remaining. He's stuck towards the back Event. There is nowhere for him to run, nowhere for him to go. CEX are out to play, and they take it 13-3.
Easy there for Brody C as he taps them as they go towards Vent, and then as he goes towards Vent himself. A very nice flick there towards Checkers. But the thing I was mentioning about, being a hype team and a team that gets very fired up and raring to go is that it can be a very gutting feeling when you're winning, it's all going well, it's the comebacks happening from the other team, it's 10-13, nothing's going your way, and the comms are silent, the comms are dead. You start to play with a lot less confidence. You don't want to be that guy that loses yourself or loses your team the game. As, if it does come down to that one round
Oh, a free fire.
Yeah, that's quite a way away. It's 14-3. Rasta here. Bomb didn't go down as well, so the buy here is going to be weak. They're going to have to buy into this one. Let's see. Galil's Hayden dropping an AK to Zakti. Zakti's been playing very well, so fair play. Don't see... Well, I can see why. 15-15, actually. If your team's losing 14-3 and you're 15-15, you're definitely on their level in terms of skill.
Hayden and Co leading the charge out towards mid, and they're going to land what seemingly looked like at their feet, but it didn't quite come through. Josh and Astro, though, will combine to find themselves picks at plenty. Quartz needs to try and catch him off guard. Stops Josh from overextending as Hayden finds a further trade, pitting it back to a 3 versus 3. Will be on the receiving end, a good chunk of damage. But with Astro to find that pick, take on towards him, should we say, as Hayden gets himself a second, actually, going in for double dips again on towards Brody. Bit of an interesting mistake there to roll on through, as now LS is in the back of the B site. If they go through vents, this could be huge. They're going to line up for him. He gets himself the double kill. It's a 1v1. Hayden just 2 HP. He's control of the bomb.
1 minute, though. Hayden going all the way around mid. I highly doubt LS expects this. So does Hayden expect LS to go all the way around T spawn as well? Definitely a game of mind games right now.
He's got the Galil as well, which is fairly consistent with its initial couple of shots on the spray, right? Which means that all LS really has to do is just whiff a couple in a vague direction, and he's won the round.
Hayden
as long as he gets crosshair on Hayden.
Yeah. Hayden going towards T-Spot. Oh. He had the right idea initially, but the problem is, though, 20 seconds. There's 20 seconds, right? You have to get the bomb, run, and plant. He's still shift walking.
I think he's out of time already.
Yeah. Fortunate scenes there. Hayden, he would have had time to run back to the bomb, or running at the bomb down, but still. 15-3. Rasta, Hayden buys an AK, and will he use it this time? Actually, Zati can buy his own, so we'll be seeing the buy come out in favor of CEX. There will be 3 Tech 9s on the side of Rasta Gaming. Quartz of Tech 9 and no armor.
Yeah,
How soon he have
like
500?
he could afford that. I don't know.
Oh, he dropped an AK, I imagine.
Yeah, dropped an AK.
Oh
Zati,
my
though,
God, through the wall.
gonna lose it straight off the bat. Not the greatest of starts in this final round, perhaps. As Hayden is going to find the quick trade, though, so at least putting up to rest with our final round talks. As he may still keep the dream intact. Astro going to find the one back on towards Psychic. As he lands another shot with the AWP. And CX really looking to be kind of a bit of a turret at this point with the double AWP setup. And then have Brody and Les mixed on through as we find ourselves stuttering up in towards A main with a bit of a freeze frame there. But nonetheless, it is Brody to find another headshot on towards Hayden. And bit by bit, Rasta Gaming just dropping out of this round. Quartz trying to contest with the Tech 9. Does find himself at least one. Swings for a second on towards Brody as he tries to find it. But Brody is going to mop them both up. It is going to be a final score of 16-3. Complete and utter domination has to be said across both of these maps. That leaves a bit of a sour taste, unfortunately, for the boys from Rasta going away from this week's UKGT.
Very convincing win there for CEX. 16-6 on Mirage. And then a 16-3 win for them on Cash. So 2-0 for CX. Let's see what that puts them in terms of the score. So they had one draw previously. That was versus Scum Gaming. I remember casting that one. And now they finally have a win on the board. So they are one win, 0 losses, and 1 draw. And then, let's see, where is Rasta? They got 1 draw versus UFrag, of course, and we know what happened following that. And then Rasta lost as well towards Barrage, and now they will have 2 losses as well. So 2 losses, 1 draw for Rasta Gaming.
Well, there's your league standings. There's all the updates, and well, this has been day 1 of week 2 of UKGT. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the matches tonight. My name has been Flakes. Joining me has been Snods, and that's all from us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.